Hola chicos, hoy vamos a hablar de los números y especialmente los números más de mil para las fechas y los días del año y cosas así. So today we're going to review numbers in Spanish, especially numbers over 1,000. And these are important especially during your Persona Famosa de España project, because you're going to be telling me when someone was born and when someone died, and when important events happened, and you need to be able to say those dates in Spanish. So it's important that we review those. You can jot down some notes if you want to as I go along on your numbers packet. I'm not going to be checking them, so that's just completely up to you. But I am going to be asking that you answer some questions throughout these notes. And when I do that, I want you to spell out the number in Spanish. Okay, so for example, if I ask you how to say 52, I want you to write out 52, okay, into your keyboard, and that'll be your answer. And we'll kind of check your answers as you go along. Okay. So para empezar, I just want to start real simple. I think we all know the numbers 1 through 10. I don't need to review those. Going from 11 to 14, we have 11, 12, 13, 14, and then 15 is 15. So 11 through 15, they have those special words. 11, 12, 13, 14, y 15. And once you get to 16, really all you're doing is combining 10 and 6. So 10 y 6. But sometimes what people do is combine these words, 10 y 6, to make it all one word, 16. So no matter how you write it, 10 y 6, 3 separate words, or 16, those are both correct. So it's just your preference. Same thing in the 20s. So for 26, you can either say 20 y 6, 3 separate words, or you can combine it to be all one word, 26. Okay, written either way, those are both correct. In the 30s, you will not combine words. So 30s and up, we do not combine. So that's why when I'm teaching numbers, like in Spanish 1, I usually just tell people to stick with these 3 separate words just because it's consistent, but it's completely up to you. Okay, so 36 would be 30 y 6, 3 separate words. Okay, when we get to the 100s, 100 is 100 by itself. Okay, but if you wanted to add to 100, so for example, my first example here is 126, you add to to the end of 100. Okay, so when you want to add to 100, you start with the word ciento. Okay, and then basically all you do is add the numbers that come after. So 126 would be 126. 199 would be 199. So we have the tendency in English to say 126, 199, but that's actually not the correct way to say it. So in Spanish, you want to make sure you're not saying 126. Okay, there's no E in here. It's just 126. 126. Okay, I would like you guys, please, to try 167, 182, and 136. So let's try them one by one here. Okay, so 167. Start with 167. Okay, 60 is kind of spelled a little bit weird, so you want to make sure you don't have an I in there. Okay, how about 182? Okay, that one we're going to start with ciento again. 82. Okay, and 136. Start with 136. Okay, and the same thing applies when you move to bigger numbers. So now we're just starting with 200 rather than 100. Okay, so to make a number higher than 200, you just have to add the rest of the number, just like you did before. So 257, instead of starting with ciento, I've added the word dos in front of ciento. So now I have 200, and I have to make that plural. So 200, and then I just add 57, 57. Okay, so you guys try 201, 248, 279, and 266, please. Okay, so we've got 201. I start with 200 again. And then I just want to say uno. Okay, 201. I don't need y uno. 201. Okay, 248. Again, I start with 248. Okay, 279. 279. Y 266. 266. Okay, muy bien. So here are the rest of your 100 places. So we have 300, 400. It's a little weird with 500 because we don't say 500, we say 500. 500, just like quince for 15. 600, 700, 800, 900, and then 1000 is just the word meal. Okay, we don't have to say un meal. Meal already implies that it's 1000. Okay, so when we're saying numbers over 1000, okay, so for example, 1547. Oops. I'm going to start with the word meal because that means 1000. Okay, so I start with meal and then I just add the rest of it. So 547, 547. Okay, in English, a lot of times, let me get rid of this comma so that it looks like a date. Okay, 1547. Notice how I just said I broke that up like it were two separate numbers, 1547. Okay, a lot of times in English, we do that when we say dates. Okay, we don't say dates like in year 1547. That's just not how we do it. But in Spanish, that is how they do it. So you can't say año 1547 because in Spanish that doesn't make any sense. So you have to make sure, even when you're saying the date, that you spell out the whole number. So if you wanted to say someone was born in 1547, you would say él nació en 1547. Okay. Second one you have is 2547. Now that one could not be a date. It doesn't exist yet. But I guess if we were talking about the future, we could say in year 2547. But here we're going to start with 2547. So same idea, except that instead of just meal, I'm adding a dos in front. Okay. So we know that meal is 1000. So again, if I want to add to that, I want to say 10,000, for example, I would say 10,000. 100,000, 100,000. Okay, so let's do a little practice of that. I want you guys to try 12,855. Okay, so I start with the 12,000 part, 12,000, and then just add the rest to it. 800, 55. Okay, even bigger one, 362,121. So I'm basically going to split this in two. I'm going to say 362 and then add the word mil and then do 121. So 362,121. Keep skipping ahead. Okay, with millions and billions, the word for million is un millón and billion is un billón. Okay, so unlike mil, you have to have the un in front for 1 million and 1 billion. Okay, and then I just wanted to show you how to use those in a combination with the others. So notice, just like we did before with the 457,022, 457,022, all I've done differently here is added 2 million in front. So I started with 2,457,022. Okay, same idea down here. Instead of 2 millones, I added 5 millones. Okay, so that is enough for today. We will do some more practice of numbers in class. So please come prepared with any questions that you might have about how I wrote any of these numbers. Gracias por mirar. Hasta luego.